I understand that Papua New Guinea has asked for the floor, so would there be any comments?
Yes, Chair. Mr. President. Unfortunately, PNG can't accept withholding Rule 42 as you propose. For many small island states, climate change is an unequivocal and existential threat. Every day, many of us see climate change insidiously at work. This is not a theory, it's reality, and it's happening before our eyes. Today, if I take my children to the coast of my home in PNG, I must tell them once there were beautiful beaches where they can only see destruction. Coconut trees that had provided shade far ashore have now collapsed, drowned by the rising seas. Today, we're relocating islanders and coastal communities as life is sucked from their land, rendering it uninhabitable, due to no fault of their own. Cultures and traditions that have sustained humanity for millennia may soon disappear forever. Today, this is happening to the most vulnerable. Tomorrow, even the mighty will be brought down by climate change. As the chair of the IPCC just reminded us, the best science we have today tells us that rich countries must reduce emissions between 25 and 40% below 1990 in the next 10 years. But the pledges before us by the largest emitters are totally inadequate. If these leaders will not take real responsibility today, what faith can we have for our future? For this reason, we cannot accept an outcome that is by consensus as you propose. Consensus means that any agreement here can only aspire to the lowest common denominator amongst us. From our perspective, in the face of this growing whirlwind of disaster, making decisions based only upon the lowest common denominator is beyond irresponsible. It's gravely negligent. So while we must always work to achieve consensus, we must have an orderly method to move forward in the rare occurrences where consensus is not possible. Therefore, subject to one small change, we requested Alternative A for Rule 42, including subparagraph A, be applied for this session and all future sessions. We request, however, that the last portion of the chapeau be revised to read, the decision as a last resort shall be taken by 3/4 vote of the parties present and voting. We believe this is the most responsible way forward. Thank you, Mrs. President.
Consensus on this. So I think that the right thing will be that we continue to be guided by the draft rules, but I will sort of consult on what you said. So thank you very much for your intervention. PNG wants the floor again.
Sorry, Mr. President. For us, this is a very serious issue, and we were not comfortable moving forward without it being resolved. And we believe that the time for this group of countries to get serious about climate change is now. And so we are willing to move forward with the proposal that we put forward. Thank you.
But as far as I understand it, there is no consensus. I mean, that it's not so that everyone would sort of support what you are suggesting, and that's why I think that the best thing we can do at this stage would be for us to consult further on the issue, and that is what I intend to do. Thank you. I will then move on to sub-item 2B, of the provisional agenda, adoption of the rules of procedure. No, sorry. The sub-item 2C, adoption of the agenda still. I would like to refer you to document FCCC/CP/2009/1 and add 1, which contains the provisional agenda and annotations. In accordance with Rule 9 of the draft rules of procedure being applied, the provisional agenda was prepared by the Executive Secretary in agreement with the President of the Conference of the Parties at its 14th session. It takes into account the views expressed by parties at the 30th session of the SBI and by members of the Bureau of the COP15.
I didn't hear any party raise any objections to our proposal. And if there is going to be consultation, I would ask that the consultation be held now. Before we move too far forward into the body of our work.
I understand that Brazil has asked for the floor. Is that to the issue raised by the PNG? Please, Brazil.
Thank you very much, Madam. I would like to appeal, my dear colleague from PNG. We are in the COP, a very urgent COP. We need to start working right now. So please let us work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brazil. I see Saudi Arabia wanting the floor, please.
Thank you, Madam President, and would like to congratulate you also. Madam President, we fully agree with your ruling that we need to consult. We cannot accept any discussion on this issue now, and we fully support what Brazil has indicated, that time is very short and we need not to waste our time by discussing an issue that has been with us for more than 15 years. So we would like to accept your ruling and we'll have further consultation on the issue if necessary. Thank you.
I apologize, Madam President. I think that we do want to show flexibility to move forward, but at the same time, we want to retain discussions about this. So what I would ask is that you consult between now and your, I think we're going to have a midterm COP, mid-session COP, at which point that we can consider this issue at that time. But in order to move forward, we're happy to move forward with the plenary on Wednesday. But I'm happy to move forward so that we can begin our work. If you can consult in that time and we can raise it again at the plenary on Wednesday. Thank you.
As I said, we will conduct consultations. I understand the wish from PNG to try to do it as quickly as possible. That will also be my intention, but I hope that there will be agreement that we could have a bit flexibility as to when this can be concluded. But consultations there will be. Thank you very much for showing flexibility.